I'm going to tell you something. This young lady here, she's very theatrical.
I understand about time, so I was trying to like organize my thoughts in my head so I could go whoosh. Okay, so when she spoke about the reenactment, I started doing reenactments when I was in high school, back in 1960s. I graduated Trenton High in 1967, to give you an idea. I'm not ashamed, I'm 65. I'll be 66. When I was in high school, there was nothing about African Americans that was positive. Chained together, all in the little loincloth. Yikes, is that what I came from? Is that all that there was of me? So I began to go to the library and I read. And I taught myself about my history. So the person that I really do very well and have done for over 40 years is Harriet Tubman. And maybe one day Yolanda will sponsor a show. I really believe that young people need to understand the power of the spoken word. Everybody does. Because if you can speak well, okay, if you can write well, you can go anywhere in this world. Okay, but a lot of times now with all this social media, people can't spell. We're using LOL, TT, But anyway, to make a long story short, I think that the only thing that I really want to say today is really about the importance of choices. I know everybody in here has made a choice where they say, "Hey, what did I do that for?" I've made many, okay? I was an only child, still am. To be a spiritual person, to be a young lady. After graduating high school, I went to Spelman College. My mother was a beautician. My father was a cook. They finished high school, but they had that dream for me to get an education. One of the things that black people had always was the importance of education. To get ahead, to get ahead. I became a teacher later on, but now I see that a lot of young people are not really taking education seriously. It's the thing that moves you ahead, that makes you who you are. But to make a long story short, choices. Whatever choice you make, I don't know how many young people are still left in here, one choice that you make can change your entire life. That's why you have to be so careful. Some of the choices that I made, I went to school, I wasn't serious. I got down to Spelman, lost my purity mind. It was in the 60s, it was like toward the end of the civil rights movement. I was marching, I was demonstrating, took over administration building with some friends. I mean, I was doing it. And then, I made the dean's list one year. Then, I let my peers talk about me. Oh, that's white people stuff. You make the dean's list. So then I dumbed down. Bad choice. Bad choice. I look at my transcript now from Spelman. I'm embarrassed. My mother worked hard as a beautician, sending me to college, and I came back with some C's and I think it was a D on there. I don't remember. But anyway, make a long story short, I dropped out of school. Another bad mistake. I was in love. Wrong person. Didn't know till after I had the baby. Oh, jeez. Wrong choice. Wrong choice. Had the baby. Struggle. Put on welfare. What? I'm on welfare. Okay, right. So I tried to tell my caseworker, I said, look, I'm only going to be on welfare for about a year and a half. I'm trying to finish. I'm going to college in New Jersey. It was Trenton State then. She was like, you got to get a job. You got to get a job now. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a job after I graduate. Okay, fine. So I graduated. I did get a job. I started working with the employment service, and I went to work with Catherine Graham. I don't know how many of you knew her. I worked with her for 8 years. It was a wonderful experience. From there, I went into the Trenton Board of Education. I did finish the State College in New Jersey. I got my BA. So I was proud of that. But the proudest thing that I have done, when I was 50 years old, I went back and got my master's. My mom was there. They asked me to speak. She was so proud. To do things to make your parents proud. Isn't that the greatest thing to do? But you know what? The one thing, well, I'm not just the one thing, but I think back, if I had done what my mother had wanted me to do, the way my mother wanted me to do it, I wouldn't just have a master's, I would be having a PhD right now. But because of my own choices, in the way of my own self, I kind of, steered myself in a different direction. So again, I'm saying to each and every one of you, not just the young people, the choices that you make impact your life. Sometimes in a positive way, but sometimes in a very negative way. That's why you have to be so careful. And you know what? If you're trying to figure out if you're going to do something, and the back of your head, your mind says, my mama wouldn't like that. Don't do it, because it's the wrong thing. Okay? So, I want to just end, with my life. Like I said, I made choices down along the line that I have not been proud of, but I pulled back. I was going to say the sifter. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So if the good stuff goes in and you remember your history, your family, what they put in you, then you will come back, you'll bounce back. You'll be able to, like this gentleman said, you're able to pull yourself back together.